Hello, I'm Dr. Russ Schroder. I'm a board-certified chiropractic neurologist and fellow in the American College of Functional Neurology. I'm also the author of The Mind Method, as well as Ouch My Head, Kids and Concussions, and Bucket List Avengers, Age of Neurology. I'm also the founder of the Mind Institute, which is now called NeuroCare. I know this isn't very glamorous, but I'm just going to read a couple pages from Chapter 7 in our book, The Mind Method. Both my wife and I, Heather Schroder, who is studying to be a naturopath, wrote this. So it won't just be I or we, it'll be speaking in terms of Dr. Russ or Heather or I. In 2012, after a 7-year investigation, GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, was fined $3 billion, that's 3 with 9 zeros, by the federal government for the company's illegal promotion of its medications, the largest fine ever levied on a drug company. Were they selling their drug secrets to the Nazis or Osama bin Laden? No. Instead, GSK illegally promoted the drug Paxil for treating depression in children from April 1998 to August 2003, even though it was never approved by the FDA for anyone under the age of 18. They also promoted the drug Wellbutrin from January 1999 to December 2003 for weight loss, the treatment of sexual dysfunction, substance addictions, and ADHD, even though it was only approved for treatment of major depressive disorder. In fact, it is 100% illegal to promote uses for a drug that have not been approved by the FDA, a practice known as off-label marketing. At the press conference after the verdict, Acting Assistant Attorney General Stuart F. Deleary, head of Justice's Civil Division, said, "For far too long, we have heard that the pharmaceutical industry views these settlements merely as the cost of doing business." GSK pleaded guilty to these crimes of telling patients their drugs could help them when they didn't have evidence of it. It is too bad the crime is only a misdemeanor in Massachusetts, as millions of Americans took Paxil, Wellbutrin, and Avandia off-label at the urging of doctors who received every imaginable form of high-priced entertainment, from Hawaiian vacations to millions of dollars to go on speaking tours, to a European pheasant hunt, to tickets to Madonna concerts, and this is just to name a few, end quote, said Carmen Ortiz, U.S. Attorney in Massachusetts. And was this some sort of freak event, some cosmic fluke that was created by a wormhole? No. Business as usual. This was just the most recent in a string of 100 million / multi-billion-dollar fines paid by the drug companies for illegal practices. 2 months before, Abbott Laboratories pleaded guilty to and paid $1.5 billion for promoting Depakote, a seizure medication, more accurately a drug that has shown some improvements in the symptoms of seizures, for off-label uses. The misconduct was not the product of, quote, some rogue sales representatives, quote, said Heapy, the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Virginia. Quote, the company engaged in the strategy from 1998 to at least 2006. Depakote is an anti-seizure and mood-stabilizing drug prescribed for bipolar disorder. However, the federal government found that Abbott Labs marketed the drug for unapproved uses, including treatment of schizophrenia, dementia, and autism. In 2009, Pfizer and its subsidiary, Pharmacia and Upjohn, pleaded guilty to a felony violation in Pennsylvania for promoting off-label uses of Bextra, such as for pain relief after knee replacement surgery, as well as Lyrica, another anti-seizure medication that is now being used for the foot pain associated with diabetic neuropathy. They were fined $2.3 billion, again with a B, billion dollars. In 2010, AstraZeneca was fined $520 million for this off-label, illegal, and dangerous promoting. The company had turned patients into guinea pigs in an unsupervised drug test, said U.S. Attorney Michael Levy of Philadelphia, where the settlement was filed. Partly because of this off-label use of Seroquel, the drug brought in $4.9 billion to the company in 2009 alone, making it the number 2 selling drug. And in one of the first and most powerful cases to start off revealing the evil of turning millions of people into guinea pigs for the sake of a profit, in the book Our Daily Meds by Melody Peterson, an investigative journalist who included an entire chapter devoted to one of Dr. Russ's favorite medications, Neurontin. Note, it's hard to write sarcasm onto paper. Neurontin is the number 1 drug taken by Dr. Russ's patients for neuropathy. It sometimes helps to numb down the pain, stinging, or burning in many patients who have peripheral neuropathy in their feet. The problem is, it has never ever been FDA approved for neuropathy, yet 90% of his patients have tried or are on Neurontin, gabapentin, for their neuropathy symptoms. In fact, Like the other drugs mentioned previously, it is an anti-seizure medication for certain types of seizures in addition to other meds. But it is also for a specific type of nerve pain called neuralgia, usually as a result of shingles, zoster, or herpes outbreak. Then why are so many patients on this medication for their foot pain? Because as Miss Peterson points out in her chapter, Neurontin for Everything, Pfizer's marketing machine was pushing doctors to prescribe it illegally, off-labeling it for tons of different conditions that it was never found to be effective for. In addition, they were pretty much saying, quote, there is no unsafe dose, unquote. And the only reason many patients weren't responders yet was that they weren't taking a strong enough dose. So if 300 milligrams didn't work, just take double. Patients were, and sometimes still are, when they come into our neurology office, taking 3,000 milligrams per day at times. It was being promoted for migraines, ADHD, bipolar disorder, restless leg syndrome, chronic pain, tremors, Lou Gehrig's disease, and, quote, almost any neurological condition, end quote. And it still is. Well, by doctors anyway, who didn't get the memo that it only has 2 approved uses. And then a whistleblower finally came forward, the FDA got wind of it, and levied a fine of $430 million. And this was all the way back in May of 2004. However, patients to this day are still being told that Neurontin is for neuropathy, only it's not. It's for seizures and overfiring brain. So they are getting their brains turned down or dulled down by the inhibitory drug and suffering the numerous side effects because of some slick marketing by these multi-billion-dollar corporations who spend far more each year on marketing than any actual research. This directly from Marcia Angell, MD, the former editor of the New England Journal of Medicine, in her book, The Truth About the Drug Companies. Some experts estimate that 90% of the profits of Neurontin are from off-label uses. This is the reason why today patients are being lied to, manipulated, and marketed too aggressively because of corporations whose sole purpose is to make their shareholders money. For more information, you can get this book on Amazon.com or call our office at 740-454-1747. Again, I'm Dr. Russ Schroder. Thank you and be well.